the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, and Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie.
A new week of winter has begun in Peyton Place. For Elliot Carson, this morning seems unusually cold. Watching Elliot Carson cross the square, William Wainwright can only imagine what is in the other man's mind. He does know that Elliot Carson has acquired the means to indicate his innocence of the murder of his wife by implicating the possible murderer.
Good morning, Mr. Wainwright.
Good morning, Mr. Carson.
I'll be through with this in just a moment.
Oh, take your time. Do you mind if I look around?
No, you go right ahead.
Thank you.
Well, how was your Sunday?
Active. I went back home to Boston, returned last night to meet with you bright and early today.
That's a binnacle from an old clipper ship.
I know. I'm a boating enthusiast.
Oh, is that so? Power or sail?
Sail. I do everything purposefully all week long, and so on weekends I just like to drift around.
Drifting? I've always found you have to sail against the wind.
Oh, I talked to my law partner, and we believe that because of the new evidence, possibly...
Mr. Wainwright, I can't let you have Elizabeth's diary.
Oh, but that means...
But you have no evidence corroborating Mrs. Harrington's letter.
You'll have no opportunity to establish your innocence.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Carson, I don't understand you.
Wainwright, I simply changed my mind.
But why? I'll have to find out.
Forget it. Just forget it.
I can't. Can you?
Good morning, Dad.
Aren't you late this morning?
Particularly?
I thought Monday was an early.
Where's Norman?
Still having breakfast. Who is this girl?
Oh, you mean Norman's new girl?
Who is she?
Just a girl. She works.
Where?
In a store. Dad, I wouldn't try and interfere.
Interfere? I can hardly talk to your brother. But you can.
You mean about the girl?
Everything, Rod.
I've tried.
Do you have any idea who spiked his drink and tied him to the pillory?
No, but I think I can find out.
Ask Norman and tell me.
Dad, it wouldn't do any good asking Norman.
All right, I'll handle the matter.
No, I think you've handled enough for both Norman and for me. This time, I'll handle it.
Rod.
I will.
I don't want you getting into trouble.
Trouble? I'll talk to Norman.
We are a family, Rod.
Oh, yes, we are a family. Not an ordinary family, but we are a family.
Oh, Betty.
Oh, hello, Dr. Rossi.
Good morning, Betty. I mean, Miss Anderson. How you doing?
I'm catching on.
Good. Oh, Miss Morgan, anything for me?
Yes, Dr. Morton would like to see you in his office.
Oh? Thank you. Can I leave this here?
Sure.
In. Michael.
Good morning, Doctor.
Norman Harrington.
Yes, someone's been giving him a rough time.
And tied him to the pillory. Norman Harrington.
Would you like to follow up on it?
Oh, I'm hardly the Harrington family physician anymore. How quickly things can fall apart.
Well, they can always be put back together again.
I've always felt that things should be whole, not patched or mended. You have a buoyant disposition, Michael. You are an optimist.
Why is it that word has suddenly become an accusation?
Optimist? Well, it doesn't seem to fit anymore.
And I'd like to hear you talk like that, Doctor.
Yes?
Cablegram, Dr. Morton.
Well, bring it in, please.
Well, oh, don't go yet.
Thank you.
My daughter's coming home.
Oh.
From South America. I mentioned her to you?
Yes, you mentioned it.
Come in.
Oh, Dr. Morton.
Well, I have my rounds.
I won't keep you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Miss Choate.
Doctor. The weekly personnel report, Doctor. You'll find Miss Anderson left early last Saturday without permission.
Oh, well, that's your department, Miss Choate. I'm sure you can help her to adjust to our routine.
I wish everyone shared your confidence in my executive ability, Doctor.
Well, I'm sure they do. Miss Choate, I have good news. Claire is coming home for a visit.
Why, that's wonderful.
Yes, it is.
I'd always hoped she'd come home and stay and carry on the tradition.
The tradition?
Isn't there one? A fine tradition.
The Mortons of Peyton Place. A dynasty of doctors.
The line of physicians.
Miss Choate, you've always had a very precise mind. Perhaps I should remind you that my daughter isn't always going to be a Morton.
Marriage may change her name, Doctor, but she'll always be a Morton, and we need one now more than ever.
More than ever?
People were beginning to think of Dr. Rossi as the...
Heir apparent?
Some people, including Dr. Rossi.
Thank you, Miss Choate, for bringing in the report.
Oh, Dr. Morton, about the Anderson girl, if it weren't for Dr. Rossi...
I ratified Miss Anderson's appointment as a nurse's aide.
I realize that, Doctor. I'm glad your daughter's coming home.
So am I. Call the airline at Miami. Leave a message for Claire Morton. Flight 407, incoming from Lima. Ask her to phone her father at home as soon as she arrives.
Let's see, 1:22 next. Miss Anderson.
Oh, yes, Miss Choate.
Did you load this cart?
Yes.
The specials always go on the right side. A special diet can be just as important as medication. If you were to make a mistake and give a patient the wrong tray.
Well, we only have 2 specials on this floor, and I put them on the top.
Oh, I see. You have your own system.
I'm sorry.
We have certain procedures around here, Miss Anderson. Too bad you don't agree with them.
Well, I don't disagree with you, Miss Choate. I simply haven't learned them all yet.
Your duties aren't all that complicated. Why, Claire Morton could handle a task like this when she was 10 years old. Dr. Morton's daughter. He used to bring her here on Saturdays. She'd follow me around and want to help. Such a bright child. Such a bright woman.
She's a doctor herself, isn't she?
A very fine one.
I remember reading about her when she went to South America, I think.
Peru. She's on her way home now. If she spends any time here, I certainly hope our staff doesn't embarrass her. She's a woman who demands perfection. We'd better get on with that.
You're very punctual.
It's a habit.
A good one. Come in.
You're going to drop your attempt to have the codicil revoked?
No, I'm going to press it.
You certainly must realize that we can substantiate Catherine's claim that you were involved with Elizabeth Carson.
When you produce a diary, I may have to reconsider. Do you have it?
Not with me.
When will you show it to me?
Whenever I feel that...
Yes?
How did you do it, Harrington? You know what I mean. How did you get to Elliot Carson?
You're supposed to be an able attorney. A counselor. Well, counselor, let me counsel you.
There's a great deal more to this than you and Catherine's father understand. And if I were you, I'd concede that my late wife's action in adding that codicil to her will and trying to take away from me everything that I had fully earned for my hard work and for my... Well, let us simply say that I wouldn't take away anything from Leslie Harrington that he had fully earned. Otherwise...
Well,
You were going to ask if that were a threat, weren't you?
As a matter of fact, I was, but I don't feel it necessary. I believe we understand each other.
You don't fully understand me, and it's better if you don't.
You're the one who's bluffing now.
Don't make that mistake. It would be a very serious one. You can't even imagine the consequences.
I'll talk to Martin, Peyton. But you must realize that we'll fight you to the bitter end, and apparently it will be a bitter end, won't it? Goodbye, Mr. Harrington.
Hi, Rodney.
Hello, Allison.
Hello.
Stiff and sore?
Stiff and sore.
Skiing.
Oh, no, I didn't fall that many times, did I?
I did.
No, we're not going to be serious, hmm?
No, we're not going to be serious, Allison. Not on a cold day on Peyton Place Town Square.
You're a character. How's Norman?
Well, he's none the worse for wear. If he doesn't wear again, I have to go someplace.
Oh, can you give me a lift?
To class? No, Allison, there's something else I have to do. You know, it's funny. I'm always asking you if I can give you a lift, and just about the first time you ask me, I have to say no.
Hello. New shipment?
No, new arrangement. You've seen all these.
Oh, but I haven't read them.
No? Would you like to improve your woods?
My woods? Oh, golf. It's coming back.
What?
Your sense of humor. Mustn't frown.
That has become a habit of mine, hasn't it?
A bit. We used to have more fun somehow. Both of us. All of us. Can I help?
I've just finished.
No, I don't mean arranging the books. I mean arranging anything else. Whatever it is.